I trust that if this message is finding you right now, it's because you're about to, I'm hearing like break away from everything that you once knew. And I feel like this is something that's been brewing for a long time. Like, I feel that you've been waiting for this moment. I think you've been waiting to give yourself permission to step outside of the role that you were assigned. So there's something about you I just feel like you're done pretending. You're done pretending what your soul already knows. Like, there's just this uncomfortable feeling within you. Like, it just feels like there's this anticipation for something more. And I feel like you know that your current circumstances or your current thought patterns that you once might have looped in is what was holding you back. And I think that you needed to experience this almost breaking point because your soul needed to know what it felt like to feel caged, so that when you're free, nothing can ever hold you back in that way ever again. And I feel like this has to do a lot with the people in your life, but also like not even the role that other people assign to you, but to the role that you thought you had to be. Like, there's something about you felt like you had to be this way. You had to be there for people. You had to stay stuck for other people's comfort. And I just feel like you've always felt this uncomfortable, almost phony energy within yourself because you knew what you were doing or who you were engaging with, what energies you were staying around. It didn't ever resonate with you. And this feels like it could be family as well, or friendships, but like, there's something about you right now. You've gone through so much, but you've also done so much inner work. And that's why there's this uncomfortable, like, push and pull dynamic with yourself right now, because a part of you has always known this role. I've always been this way. I was always meant to be the person that kept the family together or kept the friendships together, or was always overgiving, or always being good enough or quiet enough, or just keeping the peace for other people's sake, even though it was affecting your own. Like, there's something about you've never felt genuine peace in this energy within yourself, but also around these people. And I think there's something about you've struggled deeply with making sure other people felt okay, because if you didn't, then like the dynamics would fall apart, or it just would. I just feel like you were scared of things actually crumbling down because you knew that you were a big part of the glue holding things together. But all I'm here to tell you right now from my personal experience is that was never your role to play into. You are not here to make somebody else comfortable in their own mistakes, in their own misery. Like, you know how they say misery loves company? And this isn't to shame anybody, but like, when you're so conditioned to appease other people's uncomfortableness, it pours into you. And I don't think you've ever been poured into in the ways that you've wanted from these dynamics. Like, it just always felt like you were giving more than you were receiving. And I think that a big part of your breaking free moment is you're not used to doing this. You're not used to doing things for you. I feel like you've been conditioned to put yourself last, to think about how this will affect other people. How will your actions affect this person or this dynamic or this relationship? Like, it just feels that you are never given the space to actually think for yourself, make decisions for yourself without like consequences. And the consequences, it's worth it. Those consequences, they aren't real. They're just projections to make you feel like you're breaking apart something, you're ruining something, and it's because you're breaking out of the mask they forced you to wear. I feel like felt like you were forced to be somebody you were not, to be safe, to feel loved, to feel seen. And that is the definition of conditional love. I don't think you truly know what it feels like to be unconditionally loved and seen by somebody. That's why I feel like it's so hard for you, because I think that you're somebody that unconditionally loves. And I think it's been this uncomfortable, like I said, push and pull of you love people unconditionally. And I'm not saying these people don't love you, But there's something about it, it comes with conditions. It comes with, if you do this, then this will happen. And I think that you've always just played into this part of like, well, I just need to stay in this dynamic. I need to be this way because then I won't have a family, or then this will go wrong. And I think that a big part of your life's path is choosing you. You've been so heavily conditioned to stifle, shrink, soften your own voice. You've had to be somebody quieter than you truly are. Like, I think that you're somebody very intelligent, very intuitive, very aware of your surroundings, of your circumstances. Like, you see through it. That's why it's so uncomfortable. That's why you don't feel safe. That's why you feel this, like, this feels fake, but I just need to be this way for their sake. And I think there's just something about your soul is like crying out to you right now to truly ask yourself, what matters most to me? And the answer should be you. And it's not selfish to choose you. It's not selfish to pull away. And I think that a big part of your thing is like, you don't want to create any drama. You don't want to be seen as the bad guy. You don't want to be scolded or made to feel bad. Like, I'm getting people have made you feel guilty for having needs, for having opinions, for having emotions. And that is pulling away your life force energy. That's why it's so painful and uncomfortable right now, because one part of you knows that you're not meant to stay stuck within these people's own, like, stuckness. I'm getting it's like just a routine for them. It's natural for them to just accept where they're at. Like, you're not meant to stay back because other people are refusing to grow past their current circumstance. That's why you feel this pull, because you're meant to expand past the point that they keep you in. And it could even be like this invisible thing of like, they're not physically forcing you, but the emotional like neglect or the emotional manipulation or the guilt tripping, it keeps you in this energetic loop and tie that you feel chained and bound to like be somebody you're not for other people. And ask yourself, like, have they ever genuinely done anything like that for you? Have they protected you? Have they seen you genuinely? Have they heard you out? Have they made you feel valid in your emotions? Or have they just kind of reversed the dynamic or made you think that you're being over dramatic or that you just need to suck it up? No. Like, I personally believe that you are meant for so much more and that your heart knows this. I know that you know this, and I feel that I just feel like it's this massive block that's been keeping you in this cycle of feeling this truly like disconnect from your soul. I think that you're somebody you're meant to awaken in this life, or you're meant to connect to yourself on a deeper level. And it feels like you've gotten so far. Like, this isn't to invalidate all of the work that you've done, who you've become, but it is to bring awareness to the fact that sometimes the biggest lessons and blocks are in our own personal relationships and our family. Ooh, I got a phone call from my freaking dad. So that could be relevant. But like, there's just something about, you might even be being guided to like, pull your energy back. I'm not saying you need to go and cut the whole world out, but there's just something about when you speak your voice, watch who actually listens and respects you. That's your answer. Like, if there's any moment where somebody makes you doubt yourself, question your own beliefs, feel bad for wanting to choose different for yourself, better for yourself, they're basically asking you to stay stuck. They're asking you, are you going to stay stuck because I don't want to be alone in this? And that's not your burden to carry, and it never was, and it never should be. And I just feel like you're somebody who's broken so many like generational trauma curses, like generational chains that have genuinely been placed upon you that you didn't ask for. And it could feel so confusing, like this weight bearing on you because you're the one with the awareness. And I think you're scared because if you actually do this, that's breaking something that's been going on for generations, for a lifetime. I'm getting another phone call. Like, this is your sign right now that you're on the cusp of a life-changing. My phone literally cut out because my sister called me, and this is significant. I love my sister with all my heart, but I've set specific boundaries on like phone calls, especially when I'm recording, because she likes to spam call me. If anybody's seen that in my video before, like, there's something about you needing to set boundaries in your life and not feel bad for it. And you know what comes with that is people are going to make you feel bad. They're going to make you feel like you're doing something wrong because they struggled to even do that for themselves. So to see somebody else do it and break out of what they're stuck in, it's almost this envy of, like, not to say that anybody's bad per se. I don't know what you personally deal with, but there's something about the way that you're meant to break past that point. And I think that when they see you doing this, it almost reflects back to them their lack of choosing themselves throughout their life. And I feel like you're somebody very empathetic, where you feel for these people, you feel for your family, you feel for your friends, you feel for the person that you're with, like whoever this is resonating with you for, you feel for them. And that's not a bad thing. It means you're deeply human. And sometimes people take advantage of that nature, even unintentionally. Sometimes it is intentionally, you know what I mean? But there's just something about, you're not meant to cling to the empathy that you feel for them and so that you stay there. You can feel it. You can feel bad setting a boundary. I feel bad. I felt so guilty when I've set boundaries with my family. I don't want to get personal, but like, it feels bad. Like, I feel like I'm doing something wrong, and that's because that was a conditioning that's been so ingrained in my being that the thought of even doing that took me my whole life. And I'm only 24, but like, it's taken me years to just genuinely be like, I don't ever want to be involved in this again. And I feel like that's where you're at. It's just a genuine, like, you're done pretending that this is normal, that this is healthy, that this is love. Because for whoever this is for, I feel like you're starting to awaken to the fact that the people that were supposed to love and protect you the most couldn't. And it's everything to do with them. It's not because you were unworthy of that. It's because they couldn't do that for themselves. So just know that I see you and I love you, and I know that this is one of probably the most uncomfortable things you've ever had to experience in your life. But the moment that you actually choose yourself, there's going to be a liberation of like, I don't owe this to anybody anymore. I don't owe them my energy. Because I feel like you would even leave these interactions, these dynamics, these get-togethers drained. Just feeling disconnected and like, why did I even go? Why did I even give them another chance? And I feel like you've given people chance after chance after chance. And I think that you're truly being called right now to a deeper path, a path that aligns to your true self. And sometimes the people that you want to go with you aren't meant to. And that's another painful thing, is that you want people to go with you. You want them to see these experiences, to see you. But sometimes they're just not meant to. And that is okay. And I feel like on the other side of this, it's everything that you could have ever prayed for, but with a heart that's free. Because whether you want to admit it, and I think you're at that point, these people never truly saw you. And they just couldn't. And it was never because of you. And you were never unlovable. You were never unworthy. You've always been deserving of this unconditional love that you didn't even know was possible. But it is, because it exists in you. That's who you are. That's why you're at this point right now. That's why you're feeling called for more, for questioning life in itself, because you are somebody that's meant to break past all of the barriers that the people before you couldn't. So know that you're placed in this role because your role in life is something powerful, significant. And that doesn't mean you're meant to change the whole world, but you have a presence that the world needs. And I feel like there's just something about, you're giving it to the wrong sources. You're giving it to the wrong people right now. The first person that needs it is you. So again, I love you so much. I see you and I believe in you.